And it's about the left and the right, liberals and conservatives, Republicans and Democrats. Are they losing their identity? I've come into politics at a very interesting time where we have a situation where people don't really know who they are nowadays. Initially, when you thought of the left, it was kind of like the hippie left, right? Anti establishment. The system's out to get us. You know what I'm saying? Anti war. You know what I'm saying? Anti military. Anti gun. A lot of these things. And some of these things still stay true. But a lot of the principles fell onto individuals being able to progress because the left is supposed to be the revolutionaries. They're supposed to be wanting the society to continue to evolve and society to create more opportunities for the people, allow more people with to kind of abide by their individualized freedom. Whereas the right were like the conservatives. They were those individuals that were a little bit more stagnant in terms of the process. They didn't want drastic change. They wanted the systems that be to continuously improve, of course. You know, they were pro military, pro government, all that stuff. But nowadays, when I'm looking at it, I'm trying to figure out what is the left and what is the right. When I'm thinking about it, obviously there's some nuanced individuals, but the left and the right labels usually to me are LGBTQ and Trump supporters. That's what I think about nowadays. Because I was watching a video and they were talking about how there's certain tribal signifiers that can kind of identify what type of individual that you're speaking to. And it's very easy to identify someone from the LGBTQ, i.e., the left. And it's also very easy to identify someone that is a Trump supporter, i.e., the right. But what has happened? Well, we got a situation where the left was like, all these they didn't hate America, but they were dissatisfied a lot of the things that, these evil situations were doing. But nowadays they are seemingly okay with very unique situations. They have mass shooters that are just killing white people, and it's okay. They are okay with violent protests that are going on in America. That's okay. They are okay with Palestinian Hamas terrorist groups killing Jewish people and emitting violence. They're okay with potentially committing violence on Jewish people. They're okay with potentially, well, some people agreed with some of the sentiments that Osama bin Laden said. Some people was trying to agree with some of the things that Hitler said. So they went to a very interesting direction where they're okay with violence against, as long as it's to a very specific group of people. They are okay with the idea that America is terrible. Everything about America is terrible. They've become more pro government, it seems, nowadays, even though they think America is terrible. And I'm not speaking about everybody from the left. Let's just be very clear. I'm speaking about the radical, idiotic, ignorant left. Because all these things they want for a better society, they also criticize people who try to give it. They criticize Mr. Beast for trying to help the blind, help the deaf, and help kids in Africa. Because he's a rich white male. They tried so hard to revolutionize our perception of society to the point where it's not a rich white male being the forefront of what it means to be great, successful. And I'm not against that because we have certain movements to push that. civil rights movement, the Me Too movement, the feminist movement, all of that was to create a more even keeled society. And I'm there for that. I'm there for that. But now they don't want an even society. They don't want rich white men. They don't want white men in power. They hate white men. They hate white men committing violence on white people. If the white people help society, they hate it. So they went so far to their intended goal of a better society that they don't really care about the better society. They care about their rhetoric. They care about their ideology. They care about the oppressors being the liberators. They want to revolutionize. They want to create a new society that is better than America, it seems, where the minorities and the oppressed are the ones in charge. Well, we have plenty of examples of the oppressed getting in charge, America being one of them, and see where we're at. A situation that you guys don't like. Then we talk about the right. The right was like this pro-government, pro-military, make America stronger, pro-business. But now, all I see from them is, oh, the government is bad. The government is rigging elections. All big business is bad. Big pharma is bad. They're manipulating the people. All those billionaires are just leftists. Military, pro-military, it's good. I don't know. We don't want to help any other country. We want to be isolationist. Now there's some principles they still abide by like pro-life and pro-Second Amendment, but they've turned on the government. They've turned on what makes America powerful. They say make America great again, but they don't even know what it means to be great as America. What do they want? They don't know. All they want to do is support their messiah, Donald Trump. The right doesn't know who they are either. They don't know who they support. Now, I would say the right has a less of an identity crisis than the left, but it's still pretty bad on both sides. Can we get past it? I think it's possible. I think it's plausible where we have certain things take place for both the left and the right to ensure that they figure out their positions a little bit better. Because we understand the concept of someone pushing back and someone trying to progress society. It's needed. We need the proper nuance from both sides. But that's not what both sides are right now. They don't know who they are. As of right now, I would say we have a situation where we have a lot of infighting on the left and the right, where a lot of leftists are calling out leftists, saying, you radicals are insane. We have a lot of people on the right that's calling out people on the right saying, you guys are insane. And I think that, what do you call it? Not responsibility. It's not integrity. It's accountability that the left and the right are trying to abide by can play dividends. There are certain things that we can put in place, like star voting, that can help put in better politicians, better representatives into office. But if we don't get past the idea that on both the radicals on both sides who want violence, who think the other side is evil, who hate the other side, but also think that the government, the people in power are terrible. If the left hate the rich white people who are in power, and the right thinks that the entire government and media are in power, that all of it is corrupt, American society is going to fall. It's going to destroy itself. Does the government do things that is borderline evil? Does the government do things that are morally reprehensible? I feel like that is a very fair thing to say. I'm not going to discount it whatsoever. There is a little bit of nuance behind the circumstances and the situations when it comes down to it, because we do need to understand that running a country, running a society, running people can never be completely morally good. Do we understand that solutions put in place to help people are always going to have a flaw that we can't account for? Of course. Do we understand that leaders have certain agendas they want to abide by, but there are certain leaders that are only in it for the status and the money? Of course. Do we understand that the media has a responsibility by giving the news that is represented by the people and what they want, but also that there's a certain section of the media that gives out news purely so it can sell? Of course. Do we understand that there are business owners that do want to have a better society and running a business model that properly adheres to the consumers, which is why it is what it is? But there are also certain billionaires and millionaires that are doing things to potentially corrupt the system and put the system in their favor to keep themselves wealthy. Of course. Are there issues? Of course. Are there problems? Are there flaws? Of course. Are there good things? Is America the best nation in the world? Is our government the greatest society that's ever been created in human history? Is our government the greatest empire that have ever existed in human history? Do we have the strongest military, best economy, best culture? Of course. At the end of the day, what is wrong with what is going on? People are finding their information and finding their bubbles in very selective areas where they're putting themselves in echo chambers and getting reinforced in ideologies that are confirming a certain level of bias. We have content creators that are irresponsible on the rhetoric that they're trying to push to the people and not taking responsibility in terms of how they are affecting their psyche and their perception. We have education systems that are currently flawed, that are not trying to teach people to think, but teach them to be workers, and students are becoming less and less interested in the systems to be in the institution that is public education. We have situations where people are so quick to hate each other due to ideological differences because of how they've grown up, because it's constantly getting reinforced in their face, whether they are in person or whether they are on technology. The ideologies are being echoed constantly through both of their ears, and it's going back and forth and vibrating to end in their head, affecting their brain. We have problems that is going on that is the cause of this current radicalization. And one thing that I've said in a lot of the situations, whether it's trying to end the cycle of hatred with forgiveness, whether it's trying to have these nuanced conversations by understanding the perceptions that the other individuals also have good intentions in American society, and that individually, ultimately, they are a good person that wants the betterment of people. There needs to be an understanding that perception, perspective, experience is the key, and these conversations are the key to have proper understanding, to reach the compromises we want to come to. I've talked to so many people on this podcast, and I'll talk to so many more. I am not interested in adhering to people's egos. I'm not interested in pushing a movement based off an ideological principle. I'm interested in solutions. I'm interested in progression. There are so many things that we have to constantly be doing to improve society. Society is better than it's ever been, but society is also divided more than it's ever been because of the progression. We're divided because, let's be honest, the world that we try to close in terms of social media has affected the people in a way that we didn't expect. We thought that we can create a larger community, But what social media has provided, and it's getting kinked, I think it needs to continuously get kinked so we don't have these situations where people can create these circles of echo chambers and people can understand the nuances of these things going around the world with proper context. Right now, we don't have that. People are learning things about Israel and Palestine and Ukraine and Russia. They don't know what actually is going on. People are getting influenced by the algorithm and being regurgitated certain things that constantly reinforce their confirmation bias. And that is going on social media. That is going on with the youth. That is going on with individuals that use technology too much. We need to understand this. We'll continuously progress. But the left and the right don't know who they are. They just know certain things that they have to say. Think once or twice. If you're on the left and the right, think a little bit before you speak and really try to understand, what do I want out of society? If I'm a Trump supporter, what do I want out of America? What does it mean for America to be great? If I'm an LGBTQ, big time progressive liberal, what do I want from a better society? Think about it a little bit more. Think about it deeply. And maybe you'll come to an interesting conclusion. I do hope you guys enjoyed this podcast episode. Obviously, it's a shorter episode. I do hope you guys enjoy yourselves. Visit the website, www.purplepoliticalbreakdown.com, to get all the content. Rate it 5 stars if you enjoyed. Have a good one. Take care and peace.